Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. My dog just looked at me. Hello to you too. um, I'll just do a brief rest of the scary Shery thing. So anyway, she's still on the way of killing herself. She looks like she's about 80 years old, which is kind of rough, maybe even older. It's sad. It really is. So I played some, like deep meaning esoteric songs. A lot of the Coldplay songs have that in there. Then I went over and I showed her a couple of my favorite ministers or preachers, I would call them, kind of sorts. People, men of God. So, and one started with, oh, Robin's Hood with his Walmart video, security guards. It was funny. It was. Um, Maybe not my favorite one that he did. My favorite one, I saw a tear in his eye because he was talking about being upset about humanity, or it wasn't even that. I think it was just the way he was feeling so blue that day. I could like totally relate. So it was like, and then I started listening and I thought, and I actually watched him learn a whole bunch, almost like I did when I was young. So, but that was interesting. So I took her there, showed her the Walmart video. Right after that, he pops into another one that was quite long with revelations. And it was like so perfect, so perfect. When she left here, she actually felt and almost looked a little better than she did before she came. So that's the good news there. Um, to the person that asked why disinformation would be dangerous, okay, it's like if you tell your kid, go ahead and go over there and play, but you're not telling them they have to cross the freeway before they get there. That's kind of a little bit of disinformation. Um, if you don't have the right information for what you're trying to do in life, or what you believe, or what your governments are telling you, then this is dangerous to us. So if you have to wonder why, and I'll just let you in on something. I know how coils work. I know how regulators work. That's what we do around our place. We work on cars. I can tell you from the crankshaft inside of the motor. Well, it's not the crank pushing the pistons up and the rods and right up through the heads and how the electronics work in there and everything else. And I know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, what Tesla claimed to do is impossible. It was magic, it was a trick, and it was done with lights. So if you want to persist, then okay, I'm going to touch on something else too. I mean, like homosexuality. If you don't think that's a no no to God, and you're not supposed to teach your children that's not the way to do things, and you don't believe in the 10 commandments or the seven deadly sins, you really shouldn't be listening to me at all, because I gave up families because that's how strongly I feel about what God's telling me to do. And when I don't teach my sons right, they might be mad at me, but they still, well, the one always gets a hold of me, always. The other one, we haven't talked for quite some time, and he tried to kill himself because of being raped. But getting back to the other one, he's had some tendencies in that area because he was also raped. But he still calls me and he knows what I'm saying is right. And if I didn't tell him the right way to do things, he would think less of me. Whether or not he's mad at me for telling him the truth, he still would think less of me if I didn't, because he feels it inside himself just as strongly as I do. Whether or not he abides by that or they do, that's up to them. But when we don't teach our children right, there's a special place in hell for you. That's a fact. When God tells you a way to do things and you know that's the right way, then that's the way you teach your children, whether they like it or not. If you have to give up time with your loved ones, because you know you're morally and ethically right in the house of God in that manner and those morals. If you don't instill them in your kids, whether they like it or not, then you're not doing right by your child. You're letting your child cross that road. You're letting them cross that freeway. As a matter of fact, you're flipping, pushing them. And that's how I feel about that. That's how the Bible feels about that. So if you don't, I mean, the Bible wasn't, well, the way it was twisted, well and fine if you understand words, if you look them up, if you really dig into what it's saying, the truth is in there. Like I told you, God said, okay, you want to write this, you want to mess it up, you want to say this is going to happen, that's going to happen, okay, so be it. So, and if you don't feel that inside yourself, you think it's some kind of game or it's not serious, you can save your family's soul by taking care of yourself and having that faith. I'm sorry to the ones that don't deserve this right now, but there's somebody out there that I really do care about, and they're going about this shit wrong. And I'm just going to call it like it is. Man, you're a man. This woman, this mom, this grandmother is telling you the way you are raising your child right now, even though he's not quite a child, he's more a man child, but the way you are teaching him right now is absolutely incorrect. You are pushing your child under a flipping car and you're going right along with them. That is not cool. You need to sit down and talk to your son. That's my advice. Otherwise, go ahead and disrespect me, downright hate me. Could care less. Well, that's a lie. I do care. So, I hope somebody gives you this message, even though I know you're mad at me. Well, it's not the first time you've been mad at me, is it now? I have a lot of friends that are even like pretty some rough bikers and stuff. I never really fit right in. A lot of people. Now they're more scared of me in my life because they push me to that limit. But and I've been around rough stuff all my life. But I tell them like it is. They get mad, and then when they come back, the respect, the profound respect they have for me, and they will do anything for me. And pretty much where I live, the reason why people live out around here, there's a lot of ex-bikers and they just want to be left alone that day. And there's a lot of farmers too. I live more on a farmer road, but there's a lot of rough stuff right around me. Lots of it, mostly. So I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. I'm not no little bitty farm girl. I grew up in Minneapolis, you know, and I didn't just stick to the nice area, you know, because my calling was going into rough areas and trying to get the most hurt. So if that makes sense to you, I sure hope so. Oh, yeah. Yesterday was kind of a trip. Shery had started drinking in the morning, but when she came, I noticed she kind of she puts her beer in a Go cup. And I noticed she kind of sat it down and I watched her take a sip. I think she took 2 sips the whole time she was here for about 4 hours. And I kept looking at her like, you gonna drink that shit? You know? And she took a sip, but it was just little. And then another one, and it's like, So, that's kind of cool. So she actually got taken to church. The way her mind works because of the things that have happened to her, and if I get cut off, I will come back, but is with the visual, with the pictures and the songs and all that stuff. I think and I took her to some sky watching stuff and showed her the weird stuff in the sky. I knew these were things she wasn't even going to notice in her life because of being inebriated constantly, so, yeah. Hopefully it's stuck. She keeps begging me to come over and barbecue and stuff. She lives about couple miles east of me on a lake called Cross Lake. It's a beautiful place, but yeah, the people that hang there are the ones I shun, you know. And kind of the same with her and her guy, Terry. Um, Terry knows I would like rip his head off if he stepped out of line because I almost did several times, and he's not tiny. He just knows better. He knows me. But yeah, they're they would do anything for me basically. That's the truth. Because like I was saying, I go in these tough spots and I say, "Hey, that is not right." You know, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, "What do you want me to do about it?" Sometimes they'll laugh, whatever the hell's going on. I'm confronting that shit. That's me. I'm just like a tigress or a lioness, whatever. Panther, I would call it more like a puma, like a mountain lion. Because if you come up on my mountain, I'm going to jump off that rock and eat you. so, um, so one thing back to that silly statement of being scared. Aren't you afraid of this world as it is, and the governments and all the lies and the wars and all the bullshit? You're not scared yet. And you don't think they're lying to you? That doesn't make you afraid that you don't know what the hell's going to happen the next day? Shit, I'm scared enough where I ask God to keep my heart safe from dirty thoughts, even being mean. That's probably my worst sin. So, yeah, and I do have rights. Everybody's got a right to righteous anger. So, I guess let the most righteous step forward. There's another guy, he's got, like, he can't get Social Security, and I've got some ailments that would qualify me for Social Security. And the CDC's got my records, and they hid them, but I printed them out. The doctors will not help me, and I can't get Social Security because the doctor won't sign off of it.